welcome to everyone. My name is Victor Zammit. I'm a retired attorney from Sydney, Australia. Today's topic is the afterlife on trial. I just want you to imagine for one moment you are in a courtroom. You're facing the judge. Perhaps, as you may know from the number of television shows you watched, you have the lawyers on the left side and on the right side. The one on the left side usually presents the case. In this instance, the case for the afterlife. Let's say I'm the lawyer for the case, presenting the case for the afterlife. Now, under normal circumstances, and this is very briefly, very informally, I present the case, I bring in my witnesses, and then the defendant, closed-minded skeptic in this instance, right, will try to rebut the evidence. And then he brings, or she brings, the witnesses to support his case. So, the first thing that usually done is to call my first witness. Right? Now, I have some 60 witnesses. Some of the world's top scientists and psychologists and physicists and you name it, right? They are all world-class professionals. And they will come here and they will testify that after they investigated the afterlife, they found that the afterlife exists. Right? Now the onus shifts on to the defendant, closed-minded skeptic, and he will try to show that the evidence cannot be admitted. That's the normal thing to do. Now, I'd just like, for one moment, to imagine that I have already presented my witnesses, 60 of them, and you can access the names of these witnesses on my website. I'll give you the URL after this video clip. They're all there, doctors, professors, and so on. Right? And the evidence they will present are to be found on the website too, and in my book. Click on the book, and there are 22 different areas of afterlife evidence. We have the EVP, the electronic voice phenomenon, instrumental trance communications. You have all kinds of mediumships, mental mediumship, trance mediumship, materialization mediumships, and then you have the psychic laboratory testing, and you have poltergeists, and so on and on and on. 22 different areas. Let's say they've all been submitted and entered into evidence. Now the defendant, closed-minded skeptic, has to show that this evidence cannot be admitted. Now, the record as it stands today for this evidence that I showed you in this book, you can access for free at no cost to you. Right? No scientists, no physicists, no one has been able to rebut this critical evidence, and certainly not the defendant, closed-minded skeptic here. And we're replicating what the situation is. So the judge will say, all right, call your next witness. Right? So the defendant, closed-minded skeptic, will get his first witness. And let's say for one moment he is a professor. Right? And this professor, a very well-known professor, right, gets into the witness box. He is sworn in to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and so on and so on. And the defendant, the closed-minded skeptic, say, you tell the court about your knowledge that there is no afterlife. And this professor tells the judge, well, Your Honor, I was in London not so long ago, and I went to see a fortune teller, and I can tell you, she was a fraud. All right? She didn't tell me the truth at all. And I paid £5 or £6 for that. And the judge will say, yes, is that all? Okay, you're dismissed. Your next witness. And the next witness comes along. sits down, takes the stand, is sworn in and so on, right? I say, what's your occupational profession? He says, I'm a magician. Oh, yes. And the defendant, closed-minded skeptic lawyer, that you tell his honor about why there is no afterlife. And this magician says, there's no afterlife because you can't prove the negative. Now, the court, the judge will just look at him and say, this is irrelevant. This is inadmissible. Now get this guy out of here, will you? And believe it or not, that is the situation today in the world and has been like this for over 150 years. They failed, the defendant, closed-minded skeptic, failed to show how and why the evidence here in this book, which is on the internet, is not valid. It's been on the internet for 8 long years. I have been waiting 8 years for someone to rebut it, and nobody has. That is the situation today. But we know what I'm going to say to you. I'm going to say to you, you access my evidence. You read the evidence. You read the credibilities of these high professional witnesses. And then you be the judge. This is Victor Zammit. I'll see you next time.